Okay, today we are talking about 2.8, worksheet number 4, and I am doing problem number 1. I already factored the denominator. Now, focus. So I need important spots to put on my number line, and I think you know negative 2 is one of them. But it's important right away to know whether negative 2 is a 0 or whether it's a undefined. What is it? It's a 0. Because in things on the top, if they make a 0, that just makes the whole thing equal 0. So that's a z. And then how about the 3 and the negative 3 from the bottom? Those are undefined. So a z and a couple of u's. Now I got to test regions. This is the slow and the part where everybody makes their mistakes. So when you're taking the test on this, try to remember, take it slow on the testing the regions. Double check things that don't seem right to you. All right, now I'm going to go check 4. I shouldn't make a mark on the line there. Hold on. I'm just going to put a 4 here. And now I'm going to check 4. If I put in a 4 here and here and here, I get positive over positive, positive. They're all positive. That tends to happen a lot. Always? No. But it usually, since you're using a really big number, it usually makes everything positive, and you get a positive there. Not always true, though, so be careful. Does plus mean it works for sure? No, I haven't even written down the whole rest of the problem. The problem says less than 0. So since it came out positive, it actually doesn't work. Do you get where I'm going with this? All right, this is not a new one. This one's just like last night's, so nothing to worry about there. Let's look at, you can finish up number 1 on your own, I'm sure. Number 2 is one where a lot of people struggle with the denominator, so just look at number 2 with me for a moment. And the top can be factored, so I'm going to factor it right away. X plus 2, x minus 2. And on the bottom, that cannot be factored. And that doesn't guarantee, just because it can't be factored, that there's not going to be something down there that makes it equal 0. I mean, at least I would check. I hate to say always and never, so. But I can tell you this, right now I'm knowing that 2 and negative 2 seem important. So I'm going to put them on my number line. Here's negative 2, and here's 2. So now, what were those? Those were zeros. Putting a 0. Okay, now look at the bottom. Is there any way to get that bottom to give me an important number, like a number that makes it 0? No, there's no way to make it 0. Okay, if there's no way to make it 0, I can't put anything in here that would make the bottom 0. Then the bottom doesn't have any problems. It's not going to ever make the thing crash. So there's no important number coming from that. It also means the bottom of this will always be positive. You know how I'm checking for positive and negative? Do I ever need to check the bottom again in the whole rest of the problem? No, I don't need to check that. It's going to be positive no matter what I put in, right? Is there any way to make it negative? No, there isn't. Okay, now I go up to the top, and I got to test some regions. I want to test 0, my favorite thing. I shouldn't make a mark on the line. Put 2 there. Okay, so I'm going to put in a 2. If I put in a 2 here and here, I get, oh, wait a minute. 2 is an important, 2 is not a thing I should check. I'm supposed to be checking 0. Sorry. 0. Okay. Checking 0, 0, 0. I did figure it out, though, because as soon as I put it in, it was like, wait a minute, that's going to make it 0. That's going to be a positive, and that's going to be a negative. It's positive, negative over, notice I don't even have to check the bottom, positive. Positive, negative over positive. Please don't talk about Spanish right now. These two make it negative overall. That's a negative. So does that work? Is it a smiley face or not? Well, I look at this. I want things greater than 0. So negatives are not greater than 0. So this area does not work. All right. The thing that confuses people is that bottom part. I've got you past that. Now it's just checking the intervals. I think that one should be easy from there. All right. And number 4 is a lot like number 2, so skip number 4. Everybody can cross off number 4. Number 3's got some good factoring, so I'm going to ask you to do number 3. Number 5, I'm going to do with you right now because that's one of the new ones. Number 5. X minus 3 over absolute value x plus 2. That's got an absolute value thrown in, and that kind of changes everything in a way. Do you get that the bottom of this could still be 0? Even though there's an absolute value there, a lot of people get confused on that and think the answer is always positive. No, it could be 0 because I could put in a negative 2. So yeah, negative 2 is an important thing, and so is 3. So I'm going to put them on my number line. Negative 2 and 3. Now be careful now. Is negative 2 a 0? No, it's an undefined place. Is 3 a 0? Yes, it is. It's a 0. And from there, it's all going to be the same. It's just that when you're testing things, do you ever need to test the bottom for being positive or negative? No, because it's an absolute value. It'll always be positive unless it's 0, but we already took that one case out. The one case where it's 0 is, wait a minute. No, well, the one case where the bottom becomes 0 is right here. So as long as I don't test the number -2, I will always have something positive on the bottom. It will always be positive. You get what I'm saying? So for the rest of the testing, don't worry about sticking the number in the absolute value. That part has to be positive unless you pick this one number. Okay, let's look at the rest of the sheet. Do you get that number 6 has a square root in it? And we've never done that before. So maybe I should talk with you a little bit about number 6. But number 7, we've done that kind before. You can cross off number 7. The reason we're crossing off so many is because it's the day right before break, and I don't want you to have that much to do. I'm going to break my rule. We're going to skip some of the review too. Going on to number 9, though, be on the other side. I think you need to do number 9 because we skipped one like that before. We'll skip number 10, and we'll skip number 12 because you guys have done so many regressions. I think you're going to be fine on that. And then because we'll be doing plenty of review after break, you may skip 13, 14, and 15. I almost never do that, but that'll cut down your assignment to a very manageable size. Okay, on number 6, let's just talk a little bit about that square root. Because otherwise, if I don't talk with you now, I know 3 people that are going to come up and ask me about it. So I'd rather just talk with you about number 6 right now. And it's totally good that people ask me about it, but I'm just saying I'm going to explain it to somebody anyways. I may as well explain it to all of you. All right, so if I'm not going to do the whole problem, but I'm going to at least help you figure out what are the important points underneath the square root. All right, what are the important points for this part? Well, that's still the same, anything that makes it 0. So I'd set 3x minus 4 equal to 0, 3x equals 4, x equals 4/3. So that's about 1 1/3. So in making my number line, I'm going to put that over here and say that's about 4/3, about 1 1/3. So what's the important point from underneath this? Or is it a whole bunch of numbers that are the important points? No, you can really only have a point on the number line that you're going to test on both sides of. So this, even though it's okay for square roots to be 0, 0 is the key thing. So we just want to figure out what makes that 0. So in the old days, we would have you do this. 2x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. We do not want you to do that on this kind of problem. We just want to see what makes it equal 0, because that's what's important right now. And then when you're testing things, you'll have to know that if you get a negative underneath the root, that it's not a good thing. All right, so I'm going to get my important point. 2x equals -1, x equals -1/2. Okay, another important spot. Is that -1/2 going to make the whole world explode and make this a like impossible problem, or does it just make it equal 0? It just makes it equal 0, so I'm putting a z above it. When I had 4/3 here, what would that do to the problem? Does it make it all explode and crash? Does it just make it 0? It just makes it 0, because there's not a denominator here, so these are both just zeros. Now where it gets weird is when you're testing your regions, at some point you're going to get a negative underneath the square root when you test one of your numbers. What will that mean about that region? Okay, what that means is that anytime you test one of your numbers, like you're going to stick some number for like 0 in here, you stick a 0 in there, and that doesn't cause this. But if you stick in a big negative number, like down here, stick in like -5 or something, when you get a negative underneath the square root, that whole area does not work. You can actually cross off the area, because that will make you not by accident pick it as an area that satisfies the equation. Because if you ever get a negative underneath the square root, it's just as bad as undefined. It makes that whole area undefined. All right, so haven't finished that one, but that's at least a very strong start on it. And I wanted to talk to you about that one new kind. That leaves you with very little to do, and that's the end of my video for today. Enjoy your break.